Good evening, students. In our today's session, I'm going to teach a play, The Heart of Truth, written by Percival Wilde. Percival Wilde was an American author and playwright who wrote novels, short stories, and one-act plays. Take page number 95 in your book. Page number 95. Taken. The Heart of Truth, written by Percival Wilde. Here is a play which describes a situation where the honesty and uprightness of the protagonist is put to a crucial test. He is compelled by his family members to compromise on his ethical principles. Let us find out how he is saved from that crisis. There is a short description given about the play. Here, there is a protagonist who is very honest and what do you mean by uprightness? The quality of being respectable. So he has to face a challenge and how he comes out of the crisis. That is what dealt in this play. Who are the main characters? Robert Baldwin, Martha, John, Evie. Robert Baldwin, Martha, John, Evie, and Mr. Marshall. It is rather a hot and sultry Sunday afternoon, and the sun overhead and the baked clay underfoot are merciless. In the distance, lowering clouds give promise of coming relief, and at the parlor window of a trim little cottage, the Baldwin family is anxiously awaiting the return of its head. What do you want, Sriram? So here, what is the setting? It happens at the house of Baldwin, Mr. Baldwin. It is rather a hot and sultry Sunday. It happens? Yes. A Sunday afternoon. What do you mean by sultry? Hot and humid. Okay. And sun overhead and here sun overhead, the baked clay underfoot or message indicates it is nothing but a scorching sun. Okay. In the distance, lowering clouds give promise of coming relief. On the parlor window of a trim little cottage, the Baldwin family is anxious. So all the other members are at the home. They are awaiting the return of its head here. Who is the head? Robert Baldwin, Mr. Baldwin. John Baldwin's son, an average young man of 27, is smoking a pipe as philosophically as if this day were no whit more momentous than any other day. So Baldwin's son John is smoking a pipe, who is about 27 years old. But Martha, his mother, has made little progress in the last half hour, and Evie, Baldwin's daughter, takes no pains to conceal her nervousness. So, that lady, what is her name? Martha is moving here and there. She's doing some kind of household chores. What about that girl, Evie, the daughter of Robert Baldwin? She is so nervous. She's very much tensed. She's not taking any steps to hide or conceal her nervousness. She's so natural. There is a tense pause. It seems as if none of them lines to break the silence. Okay. For the 10th time in 10 minutes, Evie goes to the window and looks along the sultry. So for some time they are not talking. So it's all of them are keeping quiet. They are in silence. And what this girl Evie is doing? He's going and checking near the window whether his father has come. She's doing it for 10 times within 10 minutes. The scene at Baldwin's, it happens at the house of Baldwin. Okay, the scene happens at the house of Baldwin. Martha, it is time here. He was home. Evie, yes, mother. Martha, I do hope he has not forgotten his umbrella. He has such a habit of leaving it behind him. Evie, yes, mother. Martha, it might rain. Don't you think so, Evie? Evie, after a pause, mother, there is no answer. Mother, Mrs. Baldwin turned slowly. What does Mr. Gresham want with him? Has he done anything wrong? Martha, your father? No, Evie. Evie, then why did Mr. Gresham send for him? So here, the conversation is started by, yes, Mr. John Gresham, head of the family, main protagonist of this play, first character that I introduced. Martha, it is time he was home. Evie, yes. So Martha says that she is expecting her husband. It is the time that he has to be back at home. All right. So they both are expecting, both Martha and Evie. Evie is the daughter of Gresham and Martha is a wife of Gresham. Martha, I do hope he has not forgotten his umbrella. He has such a habit of leaving it behind. So whether, no, she is very much worried whether he comes home along with his umbrella. Okay. Evie, yes, mother. Martha, it might rain. Don't you think so? He said, it might rain. So whether he'll be caught in rain or they are talking some such kind of things. Okay. Evie, mother, what does Mr. Gresham want with him? Has he done anything wrong? So what has happened to Mr. Gresham? Who is Mr. Gresham? No. Robert Baldwin is the head of the family. Then you asked about Gresham. Sorry. So Gresham is the owner of the concern where this Robert Baldwin is working. Robert Baldwin is the master of the house, protagonist. Here, this, what is that? The name you asked? Mr. Gresham. So he works for Mr. Gresham. Baldwin works for Gresham. Gresham's. Okay. What does Mr. Gresham want with him? Has he done anything wrong? So what has happened to Mr. Gresham? Is there anything wrong from the side of Mr. Gresham? That is what asked by Evie. Martha, your father, no Evie. Evie, then why did Mr. Gresham send for him? So what has happened to this Gresham? Has he done anything wrong? So here, this man, no, here, Mr. Baldwin has not done anything wrong. So what is the need for Mr. Gresham to meet Baldwin? Okay. Martha, he wanted to talk to him. Evie, what about Mr. Gresham has been arrested? They are going to try him tomorrow. What can he want with father? So this man, Mr. Gresham, is in the jail. No, he's in the prison. He has been arrested. So they are going to, the case is going to be dealt tomorrow by the court. So what is the purpose for him to meet the father of Evie at that time? That is the question. Your father will have to give evidence, but he is going to give evidence against Mr. Gresham. Why should Mr. Gresham want to see him? So this man, we know that the very first description about the head of the family, Robert Baldwin, says about Baldwin as honest. He is known for his honesty and uprightness. Am I right? So he is a honest person. Don't you know that? The first description here is a play which describes a situation where the honesty and uprightness of the protagonist is put to a crucial test. So he is an honest man. So here, what is the need for Mr. Gresham to meet Baldwin now? That is the question, because he is going to give. So he is a person who speaks the truth always. If there is something wrong in the side of Gresham, he will speak against him. So he will never support Gresham if he is wrong. Am I right? Who is Gresham?
He is the owner of the boss of the
He's employer of Mr. Baldwin. But he is going to give evidence against Mr. Gresham. If Mr. Gresham is wrong, he will speak against, he will give evidence against Mr. Gresham. So what is the purpose of meeting him? I don't know, says Martha. Evie, you know, your father does not say much about his business affairs. She passes. I didn't know there was anything wrong with the bank until I saw it in the papers. Your father wouldn't tell me to draw my money out. He thought it was not loyal to Mr. Gresham. Evie moves. I did of my own accord against his wishes when I suspected. So here, they are talking about something. What is it? Martha expresses that her husband, Robert Baldwin, is not speaking anything about his business affairs, business matters. I didn't know there was anything wrong with the bank until I saw it in the newspaper. So she comes to know about the condition of the bank. I mean, the firm where this man, Robert Baldwin, is working, about the bank only after seeing the newspaper. She reads an article or news from the newspaper, so that she comes to know that there is a problem in the bank. Otherwise, your father would not tell me to draw my money. She has invested her money in that bank, but she was not warned by her husband. so the bank is in the crisis, you have to take your money. He's not giving any kind of such advice, a piece of advice to his wife. He thought it was not loyal to Mr. Gresham. No, he is very much sincere to his boss. At the same time, he always supports the truth. Am I right? I did it of my own accord against his wishes. So she withdraws her money only after seeing the newspapers, only based on her own interest, not because of the advice of Gresham. Actually, it is against his wishes. Evie, do you think that father had anything to do with which she does not like to say it? So, actually, she wants to ask a question. No, what is that question? Do you guess? There is a problem in the bank. There is a crisis in the bank. So, does he have any hand with the crisis? Do you understand? With the wrecking of the bank, you know him better than that Evie. So she's talking about, Martha clearly says that it is about the ruining of bankruptcy. The situation which the bank faces now is completely in bankruptcy. Evie, but did he not know what was going on? So he may not be the part of that problem, but at least he should know something about the problem. Martha, Evie, I don't believe your father ever did a wrong thing in his life, but not if he knew it was wrong. He found out by accident, found out what Mr. Gresham was doing. So he doesn't know anything actually what is happening each and every day. He doesn't know what the actual problem of the bank. So he knows such problem only by, I'm talking about Robert Baldwin. Martha only, she sees the newspaper and she comes to know about that only reading the newspaper, only by reading the newspaper. So what about Mr. Baldwin? So he works in the bank, no? So just only, he comes to know, the news only by accident, no? How do you know that? I don't know it. I suspected something he said. You see, Evie, he cannot have done anything wrong. They have not indicted him. So actually, he does not have any hand with the crisis. But what about the inquiry and other thing whether the police department is doing? So they have not accused him. He is not having any direct relation or direct connection with that problem that the bank has. Evie slowly, no, they didn't indict him because they want him to testify against Mr. Gresham. What do you mean by indict? Accuse. They are not blaming. People are not blaming Robert Baldwin. Okay, because mainly police department, they just know the department wants this, what is his name? Huh? Martha's husband? Robert Baldwin. Robert Baldwin to speak against, to give evidence against Gresham. That is a little consolation, mother. So they know that he's not a part of the problem. John enters. John, look here, mother. What does Gresham want with the gardener? So here there is an entry of John while these two ladies are speaking. So John, who is John? John is the son of Robert Baldwin. Very good. So here, what do you mean by governor here? Whether he speaks about the governor of a state or governor of a city, here he addresses his father as governor. Evie, I have just been asking that. Martha, I don't know John. John, didn't you ask him? Martha, yes, I asked him. He didn't say John. I don't think he knew himself. So just, what is Gresham? So what is the reason why he has gone to meet that Gresham? Do you know the purpose why father has gone to meet Gresham? That is what asked by John to his mother. Martha says she doesn't know about that, and she has not asked him about that because she knows that the husband also doesn't know about that. John, after an instant's thought, I was talking to the assistant cashier yesterday, Evie Donovan. John, yes, Donovan. I saw him up at athletic club. He said that nobody had any idea that there was anything wrong until the crash came. Donovan had been there 8 years. He thought he was taken care of the rest of his life. He had got married on the strength of it. And then one morning, There was a sign up on the door. It was like a bolt out of a clear sky. So here, no, Mata, no, she's very much sure that her husband doesn't know about the reason why he has been asked by John Gresham to meet him. Okay. So here, John says that he has met Donovan, the cashier of the same bank where his father is working. See, just know he meets a person in the athletic club, and he also, the Donovan also says that he also doesn't know about the problem. No, actually, no, he has been working there for the past 8 years, and he's married, and he got married only based on the income that he gets from the bank. He doesn't know what he's going to do when because it is in complete bankruptcy, and they may fire him out. No, he'll be out of job at any time. So it was like a bolt out of a clear sky. So it is a sudden or unexpected news for all of the employees. Yeah. It is an idiom. Even father, John, he says the Ghana must have known. He will swear nobody else did. You see, father was closer to Gresham than anyone else. That puts him in the nice position, doesn't it? So all the other employees, they may not know about this crisis or situation of the bank. But this man, his father, whose father? John's father, Robert Baldwin, there are some chances for him to know about this thing because he's very close to, he's a friend of the owner, Gresham. Martha, what do you mean, John? John, father is the only witness against John Gresham, and me named after him, John Gresham Baldwin, at your service. So here, John says he is the only witness who is going to speak against John Gresham. What has happened? What is the real condition? Who is the reason for this bankruptcy? He is going to tell everything to the court, everything in the court, and that completely against the owner of the bank. So, and we come to know that John bears his name, John Gresham Baldwin. John Gresham Baldwin.